Listen up. You are now listening to News with My Fiancé with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that sounds better. I had to turn my headphones up a little bit.
I had to turn mine down. You had to turn yours up.
Yeah. Shut up my snare phone. All right.
There it is.
There it is.
Good morning, fiancés.
Morning, y'all.
How we doing today?
Bro, what is the deal?
Yes, I'm tired. I know you were going to ask, but here we are. So excited to be here.
One of our favorite places.
It's true.
Yeah.
Best way to start the day.
We went to a podcast meetup earlier this week. Was that Monday, I think?
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool just talking to some of the other podcasters here in Portland. And,
yes.
I had arrived before the Unrefined Sophisticates crew arrived. I always find myself, I got a podcast with my fiance, but let me tell you what she's got going on. And it was funny that when you finally arrived, the one dude was like, "Oh, you're the famous one.
That is
you're
true."
The one with all of the podcasts.
And I was like, what's happening here?
I was like, it's true. She does. But it was just great, to be able to be in, community, in a space with a bunch of other people that do what we do, and to be able to hear the importance of just like feedback and interaction and engagement from their audience and comments and all that stuff. And it was in that moment that I really, really, I won't say I gained more. I felt proud of what we'd accomplished so far, and really grateful for the interaction and engagement we get on our show. Like, just over the hill, like, man.
You know what it sort of illuminates the big difference to me between a podcast and a live situation. And as much as live things terrify me, you can't get engagement in the same way from, and this is not to take anything away from people that are, in their favorite podcasters Discord or still don't really know what that means. I guess you're message board.
It's like that. It's like a message board.
It's a forum.
I'm in a Discord.
That is not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not the same for live text to be coming in and being able to respond to people as we're going. And I love it. So as much as the live aspect terrifies me, the live aspects of engagement with people in the moment is worth it.
Yeah.
This is not actually a backhanded way to say, where are the text messages? I promise. I promise you. I am far more direct than that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys know that. It's true. If anything, it's kind of like giving you guys your flowers, giving you guys your roses, man. Kudos.
Yeah. You guys make this so much fun.
Yeah. And, the feedback that we've gotten, and the engagement has really, really been key to the development of the show and the different things that we're working on. And I hope you guys have felt like, things have gotten smoother or your experience. Because I think we're almost going into 2 years. We should be at 2 years.
Yeah, I still don't understand when we really started this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you try and trick me into things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can talk about that, our origin story, another day.
Oh, no. Or we could not. It's okay.
No.
I don't think as a comic book fan, people don't want to hear origin stories over and over again.
Whoa, I feel like this is not true.
It's like, just get to it. How many times we got to see, Uncle Ben die? Let's just go.
Okay. So here's the thing.
What?
Here's what I do know.
Bruce, we know your parents got killed. We got to do it again.
Whoa.
What? People are over origins, man.
Fiancés, do not buy in. Okay? Ambush is lying. They love origin stories. You know how I have the question, how many times do we have to talk about Uncle Ben? I'd love to know why we have to do the same phrase every movie. I'd also love to know why we got to talk about Bruce's parents ever.
Wow.
Ever.
Well, the conversation
in every single person's iteration. It doesn't matter what the storyline. It doesn't matter which book it comes from. It doesn't matter who illustrated, who wrote it. Doesn't matter who directed the movie. We absolutely have to hear about those people in Gotham having a night on the town. Those pearls. Someone's going to show me a pearl bouncing on the ground. We're not doing this. Y'all love it. You live for it. Y'all got to relive the trauma of Bruce and his billionaire sadness.
Wow.
Over and over.
Wow. I mean, I guess that's one way to put it. You know, the details matter.
Okay. I would agree.
I know.
Speaking of details.
Done.
Yeah. I'm going to say this real quick. Speaking of details. Our good friend of the show, Ron Details DeSantis.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow. I don't know if I like that friend of the show part.
Well, I mean, yeah. you started out as backwards day, fam. Is that not what we doing?
Apparently.
I don't know. That guy, Big Boots McGee, and I did say boots, and I'm talking about the white thigh highs. They weren't.
Oh, yeah. No, they were amazing.
Anyway, this one, he's saying some of the things that you're not supposed to say. So remember how we were talking about Cornel West and, you know, how cool something like that could be, but that's not anybody who's running for president who is out loud saying, I'm going to basically dismantle the things that make America run is not going to actually become the leader of America.
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis on the out loud, on a news channel, talking to a news person, got the question, like, what would you take away?
Everything.
And Mans said, oh, we're doing Department of Education, Department of Energy, Commerce. And you know who else is going to get it? The IRS, because y'all keep taking all my money.
It's a chop. We're taking it
It's a chop. Literally zeros across the board. Y'all, what chance does... I absolutely understand this idea that the IRS is this evil body that steals all your money. I mean, I don't understand. I've never been rolling in money enough for me to be too concerned about the IRS coming my way. True. I'm also not committing tax fraud. I think that's why they don't like the IRS a lot. Because the tax fraud be having them in a chokehold.
Yeah.
And they're just like, I don't know where my accountant Tim is. I think he's on a yacht somewhere. And they're going to ask me some questions. Like, I don't know how you say out loud, we're going to get rid of the Department of Education. I mean, we're going to go in phases, I'm guessing. You know, we'll just get rid of the woke mind virus because that's number one. So we're going to get rid of the CRT that is in elementary school.
That's actually healthcare.
Get that on the checklist.
Getting rid of the woke mind virus.
That would be universal healthcare.
That's universal healthcare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the woke mind virus isn't real.
Well, babe, it's a virus.
Ooh.
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not real.
Okay, you know, you got me there. You do got me there.
You've been gotten.
I've been gotten.
We got some text.
What? Hold on, I thought I had my eye on the ball.
Good morning. I too am grateful for the live situationship with you and all the fiancés.
Yes.
And then we got from John. Good morning, fiancés. Morgan, I'm so disappointed that you, out of all of us, you don't know when this started? When we all got engaged?
John, don't. Let's reel it in for 1 second, you know. Give me until next week. It's on a calendar.
Somewhere.
To
the email.
I bet you I find out before Ambush does.
Wow.
That was rude.
That's hilarious.
And you know what? Hurt people hurt people. I was worried. I was back against the corner or the wall, you know? John.
You were a funnel spider.
John, you did a thing there. And you're right.
Hurt people.
You have the right to be disappointed. And I'm going to figure it out.
Okay. Hey, man.
That's my assignment for next week. I'm going to come here with our anniversary date. And,
nice.
And depending on when that anniversary is, I'm going to have a plan.
See, this
a celebration plan.
This
That's
is how
what that
it works.
means.
That was great. Thanks, John.
John's a big motivator.
Thanks to that first person that texted as well. Thank you. Grateful for our live situationship. Heart
Fiancés, you're making my morning already. I'm excited for today's news.
I do have a little bit of commentary about Ronald DeSantis.
Oh, yeah, please. I'm sorry. I was not trying.
With him on in front of the cameras on a microphone, documenting how he went to dismantle the U.S. as one of his goals.
It's a goal.
Yeah.
Of a presidency.
Yeah. On the very opposite side of that, I see Cornel West too speaking to how he would like to dismantle the U.S. so we can make it an actual place that's equitable for everyone. They're both saying the quiet parts out loud,
right?
And it's like with Cornel West, we know he's being an issue candidate,
right?
Ron thinks, not only do I have a chance, this thing's clinched. Just you watch. Just you wait and see.
I don't know if he thinks clinched, but I do think there is some overestimated confidence happening over there.
And all they've really done, well, Ron specifically, is just clear the board for us to run it right back with Biden and Trump. And I would like for us, as a family, to just start dealing with that reality. So, once we're dealing with Trump talking his trash like he normally does in the campaign trail, it's not like, how did we get here? They don't have anyone else over. Who's it, Chris Christie? They don't have anyone else over there that's going to stand a chance against him in the primary. None. And now, due to indictments, we were able to find out, and maybe some of you already knew this, that if he were to get locked up, the window's too small for that to happen. He could still run.
He could still run. He could still win. He could
pardon himself.
Like,
does this not sound like the ridiculous champion story that they want?
Well, sure, but I want to remind everybody that the they in this scenario is such a small, insignificant amount of people, and insignificant's not the right word, but it's not a majority of people, right? And the way that we have sort of thrown out there how if you're a felon, you can't even travel.
Right.
You can't get a job. Good luck getting a house. What does this mean?
Well,
I know what.
Okay, go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is, how do we move? What do we do with that? That's what I mean. What do we do with that? Yes, the people that want to see that story follow through, even if it includes jail or prison, and then the triumphant return of dump truck.
Yes,
I get it, but it's also how, and then what? Just lawless.
This is
no more Law and Order.
This is an audience that has been stoked on reality TV. Everything is entertainment. There are people that will want to vote for him, like the same way you vote for Kanye. There are people that will want to vote for him just to get involved and be like, yo, but if he wins, that's going to be crazy. And then all of a sudden, he gets to pretend that, hey, you know what? Which is going to be, oh man, you know what? Incarcerated people should be able to vote. They should be able to participate.
I mean,
like
broken clocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes, definitely broken clocks, but I was going to lean more towards the Republicans' playbook is do whatever we want. Justify whatever.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying? With it, yeah, we said this yesterday, but today we're saying this, and then tomorrow we're going to go back to that. But in the moment, listen to what I'm saying. Pick up what I'm putting down.
And every news anchor on CNN or MSNBC is going to be like, ooh, we gotcha. And they hit the gotcha button because, look, yesterday, Senator, you said no such thing. Today, you say everybody who's been convicted of something should be able to vote. Tell us. And then they sit on that for a while instead of the fact that it's like, y'all don't he just change the rules so he could get more votes, huh?
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I don't miss Chris Cuomo. Like, you reminded me of that just now with the, ooh, gotcha, sir. Lindsey Graham is one of the most self-incriminating people.
Yo.
And
he's the blueprint. Lindsey is the blueprint. You can be whatever you want to be. Okay? You are free, white, and 21. The world is your oyster. I can be this today. I can be this at lunch. I can be back to... It doesn't matter.
No, it don't.
I get to do what I want. And that's the way it is. That's cool.
Oh, my gosh.
We're going to live like that one day.
Are we?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We did get another text. Good morning, fam. Just woke up, reading my Vortex magazine, and looking forward to hearing back from applying for my spine press pass for Roce City Comic Con. Roods.
Ambush forgot the emphasis on woke. But it's just woke up because, you know.
We are woke.
Rudo does have the mind virus. He has the woke mind virus.
He has the woke mind virus.
He is, in fact, working on a petition that will have Juneteenth replace July 4th. And they're coming after him. You know, we got to rally around.
That's the goal, guys.
That is the goal. Just replace the Independence Day with another one.
Here's the thing, right?
With the delayed Independence Day.
Say that were the game plan.
Which it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Say it were.
Yeah, like it's not on anybody's mind. But yeah, say it were.
Say it were the game plan that we want to replace the 4th of July with Juneteenth. Mm-hmm. What are the logistics? One, what are the consequences?
Well, the consequences, I don't get July 4th.
Does that mean that the red, white, and blue coolers will no longer exist? And
they'll all be red, black, and green. See, you don't understand what replacement means, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That American flag, out of here. Okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the same exact flag. It's just different colors now.
Okay.
To represent the African people.
Okay.
That had delayed justice in that moment.
Okay.
So every napkin will say Happy Juneteenth instead of Happy 4th of July. Oh. The fireworks will be different. Okay. I'm unsure.
Still working on it.
Okay. The food, I think that's the biggest one.
Okay.
It's going to be different, guys. It's not going to be the same. What?
I was going to say, swinging back around to the fireworks.
Oh, okay.
Can we make sure that when the fireworks go up, they just show images of the continent of Africa?
That's easily
that every time. Every time it's just Africa, Africa, Africa.
Is that just Africa. The show until the finale, or is that the finale?
I think that's
you know how many
show.
Countries there are in Africa? Maybe the entire show
or different countries
is each country, and then the finale is the continent of Africa merging with the country of America. And you'll see how little America is in
as it fits into Africa.
As it fits.
Right.
inside one little piece of that continent.
Okay.
To obviously prove the dominance. Sorry.
Yep.
I really want to know what these people think. Like, what are you? Also, who doesn't want 2 holidays? You out here with 2 federal holidays now and you mad about it? Get a life.
Right.
Get a life. You shouldn't be in my opinion, getting to celebrate something that you think is not real.
Right.
Or
you go to work.
Go to work.
Since it's so fake, go to work.
And continue. You don't ever have to pay attention to it if you don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
It's not as if you're going to all of a sudden spend any of that time and go, wow, maybe it was really cold-blooded that no one told those people in Texas. No.
It literally could be National Cheesecake Day, you guys. You don't have to deal with it at all.
Popcorn, dog.
Yeah. Pets Day.
Pets Day. National Donut Day. It's yours. Don't do it. Do it. Whatever. But get out of our face and quit playing like this is some sort of, political thing we need to be talking about. The political thing to be talking about is the fact that in the year 2023, there are people that are like, I mean, come on, guys. Was slavery really that bad? How are we seeing the effects of that today?
Right.
I don't know. Y'all sure talk about it a lot. Y'all sure talk about how we're supposed to get over it real quick. Like,
a whole lot.
Don't understand what Juneteenth means? Literally infinite information at your fingertips.
If you were actually interested.
If you were interested.
But your main interest actually lies in deceiving people, raising their blood pressure to have them tune in the following night.
Rudo said, and Black History Month just keeps on giving. Am I right? Yo, honestly,
that with
Rude boy. Yo, this is one of the things that gets me too. Like, because Juneteenth is a federal holiday, and because June is Pride Month, companies performatively are losing their minds. What do we do? How do we fake our solidarity this year?
Yeah.
And how do we make sure that we're centering those voices of the marginalized or whatever it is that, each company says 3 days before June starts.
Man, let's rush it in real quick.
The amount of people that were like, I don't understand why we have to have Black History Month in June. I don't either. Where is it that?
Yeah.
Is it that somewhere else? Is there their country of origin maybe that has a Black History Month in June? I'm confused. But watching, it was a chokehold. Commentators out here like, I don't know why they're not celebrating Black History Month a little bit better. I do. It's not February.
Yeah, guys.
And also, if we could stop the performances, y'all, and y'all could plan, if you really want to be a part of it, you have to spend more time on it than you do preparing a barbecue. Yeah. You just have to.
Or, and I'm always here, or, you don't, and you don't get to pretend and, yeah.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Fully agree.
Just halt the performance and just sit it out.
It's just not needed, but it is when you're trying to
convince people you're better than you are.
Oh, come on. This text says, fun fact.
Uh-oh.
Prison guards make time and a half on Juneteenth now.
Oh!
Sorry, I meant 2.5 times. Okay, you know what?
What? Oh.
Well, okay, before I fall out in disbelief.
I feel deflated. Oh, jeez.
Or feel deflated, I will take this moment to remind everybody that reparations did in fact happen.
Wait a minute. I didn't get a check. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, not for you. For plantation owners.
Oh, yes.
And enslavers. They were able to get So this actually makes, I mean, that seems like it tracks.
Yeah. Par for the course.
I'm going to give you guys 40 acres and a mule a piece. And then I'm going to not give you that. And I'm actually going to give that land I promised you to the person who enslaved you and your families for years.
So remember, before we started on the show, before we hit the live button this morning, we were talking about grifters. And Candace Owens, of course, is against reparations, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And one would beg to ask, well, was she against, do you think she's against reparations that the slave owners and plantation owners received? And immediately I'm like, she would say that never happened. Like,
she would either say that never happened, or she would say it was necessary to,
balance the loss of...
just to, get the economy going. Now it's a completely different world, so we got to have somebody with that wealth, and it can't be the people that look like me, brother.
Madam. It's like, it can't be me, brother. Absolutely not.
Okay, I'm going to read a text we just got, but I want you to get us ready for a music break.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying all of this on the air, as it were, I've created somewhat of a tiny bit of a new outline for the show. Just
Okay.
So this text says, I had an online phone client ask me where their order was, and I told them that Monday was a federal holiday. This was on the 21st, Juneteenth.
Their response.
Their response was, "What's that? A gay thing?" All right. Well, you've been listening to News with My Fiancé with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones, and we're done because what? I gotta know. I gotta know.
Rudo, too.
I gotta know. Like, what? And then what did they say?
Right.
What'd you say, Rudo? Were you like, yep? Because I would have been like, yep.
Certainly. You didn't know? Definitely a gay thing.
Oh, I'm sorry you weren't privy. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh. You see that last text?
No.
At one of his Nuremberger rallies last year, that Don person said that they want to remove the statue of Jefferson from the Jefferson Memorial and replace it with the statue of, get ready for it, Al Sharpton. That one guy who calls himself Blacks for Trump was visibly upset.
Of who? Of Al Sharpton? I'm sorry, I'm yelling at y'all. I tried to get away from the mic. Oh, hit the dump button or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Al Sharpton. Don. We gotta. Okay, let me clear it. Excuse me. Bless his heart.
Oh my God.
Bless that baby's little heart. Like, what do you, in what regard? As evidenced of his time on MSNBC for the last, 47 years. Don't nobody care about Al Sharpton?
No, please.
He is not the leader of, he is not the head, the leader. He ain't nobody uncle. Like,
go back
friends.
Go back to your selfie speed.
If you have yet to figure it out about the black community, Don, we like the fat version of people. Okay? If I have the choices, I don't want skinny Al Sharpton out here.
Old school Al Sharpton? You want informant Al Sharpton?
I mean, I just...
yeah,
I definitely... Version. I don't want any version of Al Sharpton.
There it is. This ain't like Luther. There's
You're right.
No version of Al.
You're right.
Yeah. Before we jump into the music break, we run through the story.
Oh, we never talked about what we were going to do. We're way off of my timeline, and I'm actually pretty peeved about it.
Oh.
You know, I go through all this time, I do this stuff, I pretend to be a producer, I don't know what I'm doing, and then nobody follows my rules, you know? And it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you this about that, fiancés. It doesn't matter if you complain. It doesn't change.
I'll tell you this about that.
You know? I'm not going to be silenced over here.
Okay, no one is trying to
All right.
silence.
Okay. Well,
Ma'am.
local news is pretty wild. Some Republicans remembered their right to work.
Yeah.
And they showed up just in time to vote for funding for a suicide prevention hotline. So, like, high five, and also you're fired.
Yeah, super fire, bro.
Portland History X happened. And I'm just wondering if anyone is going to identify Derek Vinyard or Danny or whatever his name is.
Right.
Because there's way too many widespread footage without a name. And
yeah,
my guess is that's a real Hannah Montana situation.
Yeah. In the national news, online harassment versus free speech has the Supreme Court a little bewildered.
Which way do we go?
We don't know the difference between the two. And hate crimes are on the rise from 2021 to 2022 in California. I wonder what could be happening.
You know, I want to get my finger on the pulse of that one.
Yeah.
What kind of hate? Why would it be on the rise?
Why is it on the rise? What's going on? All that and more after this music break.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Welcome back to News of My Fiance with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. Man.
First of all, you're welcome, everybody, for the rousing rendition of Ain't It Fun. Haley Williams is
National treasure.
National treasure.
Yeah, national treasure, that one.
Man, I love Paramore, and I always have, and that song gets me every time. And let me tell you, fiancés, what just happened here. Ambush threw it on. And I was like, yes, you love me. This is amazing. Thank you.
Right.
And then sometimes I do too much, you know? And I opened the internet and discovered...
Guys, brace yourself.
That the Supreme Court has said, no thank you, affirmative action. You can go now. And in reading some of this, I couldn't pay attention to Haley singing in the background because there's a thing that I really, really can't get over when it comes to the racists. The biggest beneficiary of affirmative action is white women. I don't think that most of the people listening to this right now are hearing that for the first time. Right. I am going to say it again, though.
Right.
The biggest beneficiary of affirmative action in the last 60 years has been white women. Of the women on the Supreme Court who voted to strip affirmative action from higher education, the white woman. And I want to know, are y'all okay?
Jeez.
Because these are the things that benefit you, and somehow Travis is able to get you to believe that it's actually not benefiting you. It's holding you back.
Yeah.
It's holding you and your potential back.
People will never be able to see you for what you're really worth if they got this affirmative action. Just,
Gotta get that merit back.
Yeah.
Which has literally never happened. Here's the thing. Am I losing my mind? Oh no, affirmative action? But a little, actually. And not because of the benefit that I think that it gives. I don't think that affirmative action does what y'all think it does. And I don't, when I say y'all, I mean the people who don't want it. But what is troublesome is that the protections that are in place currently that are supposed to be, even if I feel performative steps, to be somewhat less biased, that is being seen as an affront, an attack on a country. And the priorities have shifted so swiftly, So swift. I mean, and swift is the wrong word. I guess it just feels like it's happening very quickly because we're seeing these things change now. But all of this has been going in the background. All of this has been going forever. The same person who funded this effort, funded the effort to, strip voting rights.
And did it. And we're popped up again in 92.
I mean, if you're just always around with some bread to throw at, subjugation, let me see how I can make sure that you can't be a part of the actual civilization that
you contribute to.
You built.
Yep.
That's the part that scares me, because they don't take away affirmative action is live and strong with your legacy, your donor relationships, your legacy kids, that goes nowhere.
Right.
This does nothing, absolutely nothing to prove that anybody's, that we live in a meritocracy, because we don't and we never have. And you can't actually. So if anybody is, do try and challenge me on this, but you cannot live in a society that thrives because of white supremacy, patriarchy, and capitalism and talk about merit. Because you can't be any of the things that are considered the greatest and the best without exploiting other people.
Yep.
And it would be my estimation that that messes up some of that merit. That messes up some of that, I worked my off. I'm the one that did all the things, and I'm the self-made billionaire. No such thing. Never will be. I don't even know why people want to have like that narrative. Because you don't actually live that way. You don't actually live in a way of like, I did this all by myself and I just want to give back and thank people. You know what I mean? Like, you don't live that way.
I mean,
so here we are, just
in the phrase, though, right? Who are you giving back to if you did it on your own?
Hell.
Who are you thanking if you're self-made?
I guess God and my mama.
John said, Stockholm syndrome is very real, y'all.
John, you are so right. And also, WTF? Who is this for? I mean, I know who it's for.
Right. Who benefits, y'all? Who
benefits here? Nothing changes. Also, I'm just going to tell you that the moment that some white kid does not get into the school that they want to go to, and they see some sort of acceptance video on TikTok, on the Clock app, of a black or brown kid getting in, we got to... Where's Paulazon? Get her on the case.
Right.
Find out if they're secretly doing the affirmative actions over there.
Backdoor affirmative.
They're backdooring. They're doing it. They're letting people in for their color again.
They're breaking the law, guys.
The thing that is terrifying about this is these things are actually happening. This is not the marketplace of ideas. This is not the hypothetical, debate bro moment. This is a real thing. Because somebody was like, you know what we should really be focusing on right now? Affirmative action got to go. And when the Netflix documentary or whatever comes out of this one dude who continuously has all the bread to be able to subjugate black and brown people. When we find out that it was like him having a crush on a black girl who didn't look his way, or finding out that, you know what I mean? There's he had a Latina woman that just wouldn't.
Right.
It's going to be something so ridiculous.
Yeah. And
because it's always so ridiculous and it's always so fragile. And then all of a sudden, the people that are going to lose their entire futures because of whatever this person decided to fund, they're the snowflakes.
Yeah.
They're the triggered. They're the, you want handouts. The amount of work you have to do as a non-white person in this country is absolutely insane
Yeah.
to be considered like a decent employee.
Worthy
Worthy
of your lunch break.
worthy of your lunch break.
Uninterrupted lunch break.
Also unworthy of a conversation about a raise. Unworthy about a conversation of how great the value add is. Real happy to tell you that at the happy hours and the after meetings of,
Right.
wow, what would we do without you? So happy we don't have to find out. Am I right? But then here we are. You got nothing for me for a promotion. You got nothing for me for more money. The amount of times that very specific thing has happened to me, you have changed our entire program.
Thank you.
What would we do without you? You have innovated. Oh, but you will never make money in nonprofit, so you might as well just sit that one out now. No, there will be no raises.
Also, we will guilt you when you want to take your scheduled vacation.
Or we will tell you no.
Yeah, there's always that.
And I'm also sorry that you have migraines. Can you make it you want an extra hour? Why don't you close your eyes for an hour and then come in?
Oh, you want to just cut the lights off in your office? Or try that.
Everybody will work in the dark for you.
Yeah.
These are all actual things.
Yeah.
Couple of texts. One, Justice Jackson said, quote, with let them eat cake obliviousness today, the majority pulls the ripcord and announces color blindness for all by legal fiat. Is that an I? I can't. Okay. But deeming race irrelevant in law does not make it so in life. Shout out to Justice Jackson. The other one, there's no such thing as a self-made billionaire. Talk to him. Don't forget, behind every great fortune is a great crime.
Ooh.
Bang, bang.
John DeMarco. Whoa. That's
John
a bar.
with the bars today.
John, aren't you at work? But you have something to be doing? Whoa. Okay.
I take it all back. There's some merit. There's some meritocracy going on.
Wow.
Nah, I mean, that's it.
That
There is, you cannot be. I just watched this. Oh, I'm derailing the news. I'm sorry.
No. Just blame the Supreme Court.
I'm blaming
They're
the
the
Supreme
ones
Court.
who did it.
And really, I blame Clarence Thomas, but we'll come back to that. I was watching this exchange where there's a, you know, we understand that people disconnect from certain situations or cognitive dissonance where it's like, well, I'm going to not pay attention to that thing. And the conversation was about billionaires, Black and brown billionaires specifically. Like, I don't see you guys saying we should eat the rich when it comes to Jay-Z and Beyonce. And somebody in their infinite wisdom, you know, was like, but like, why Beyonce though? We've seen her working since the 90s. She's worked hard for it. Yeah, she has. Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot make that much money. You cannot amass that much wealth. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how culture shifting, how, you know, queen of the world you end up being to so many people. All of those ventures, all of those investments, all of those, in order to be a millionaire, must have 7 to 9 streams of income, blah, blah, blah. Well, in that, this is where we might find some exploitation. This is where we might be able to, you know,
Devil's in the details, man.
Dust off a little understanding that, you know, where are some of these things that you sell being made? Who are the artists you have signed? I'm not talking specifically about Beyonce, but who are the artists you have signed? Sean Combs, that you turned around and took all their money. You were an exploited person who then exploited people and then became a billionaire. And then you were like, I'm the greatest. Because we have air we breathe. We are supposed to believe and supposed to be living in a meritocracy.
Yeah.
I deserved it because I worked so hard for it. We also have this complete and total skewed idea of what hard work means when it's the CEOs that are making hundreds of millions of dollars for making 2 decisions a year that actually impact thousands, tens of thousands of people negatively.
And they don't even make the decisions on their own. That's the worst part. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a crew of people around them that are helping them guide this decision making, you know, and they still get like good and bad. They still wield that sort of responsibility. And I made this thing.
I did it.
Bro, you're in the office 2 times a quarter, if that. I'm gonna jump into the Supreme Court thing.
Except for,
go ahead.
This text. I love hearing Ambush make faces while on the radio and Morgan's reacting to them. That, my friends, is the dynamic of this show.
I felt like someone's
watching
at me right now.
Yeah, like it's a little bit scary.
Holy crap.
That is the dynamic.
Yeah, those pauses are definitely me making faces.
Mouth wide open. He looks away. He's agape.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, we do have another Supreme Court story and all of that. I'm sorry to have derailed for so long. I am in a place of not like panic, right? I'm not panicking, but I really do feel like people are not understanding what these changes, what the point of them is /are. And that's the part that scares me, because it's sort of like there's all of this work has been going, right? All of this conservative work has been going. Now we just have the newer iterations, some of those same legacy names, and then some of the new ones, and Daughters of the Confederacy turn into Moms of Liberty or whatever they're called,
right?
Or Libs of TikTok. But all of these things are happening at the same time in order to do all of what's change actual laws.
Yeah.
These are the same people that will tell you there are no laws right now that it is against the law to be racist, basically. It's against the law to discriminate. Show me the laws where you can discriminate. That's the kind of debate bro stuff you deal with. Well, okay, here.
Yeah, because aren't these the things that you guys throw in our faces as progress? Look where America is today. We have affirmative action.
We have affirmative action.
And so if
the blacks can go to a real school, right?
So if that's in the win category, why are you guys fighting so hard to get rid of it?
Because they haven't figured out how to colonize the actual win of that yet. Because think about the way that those same folks are talking about who ended slavery. It's white men ended slavery because nice, and you need to thank us about it. Like I don't know if it's new, but that's the loud version now of they found a way to make slavery ending their win.
Yeah. So
they just haven't figured out how to make that their win yet.
I wish I would have pulled that audio from was that pastor or whoever that faith leader. I wish I would have pulled that. That would have been really fun to play with.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be quiet.
No, it's all right. The Supreme Court is caught in 4K for being completely out of touch and worried about the wrong things. The Supreme Court overturned the stalking conviction of a Colorado man, Billy Raymond Counterman. The court's decision has sparked concerns among those involved in combating stalking, particularly in the age of social media. The court's new standard for determining whether a threat is true requires prosecutors to demonstrate that the speaker was aware that their speech could be viewed as a threat and that the speech was reckless, even if not intentionally threatening. Billy Ray Counterman was convicted of stalking singer-songwriter Coles Whalen after bombarding her with hundreds of direct messages on Facebook over a 2-year period. Whalen found the messages deeply disturbing, especially as they indicated that Counterman was actively monitoring her.
Bruh.
Despite her attempts to block him on Facebook, he persisted in creating new accounts to send her messages. Counterman's lawyers argued that his conviction violated his free speech rights, emphasizing that their client suffers from mental illness and did not intend for his messages to be perceived as threatening. The Supreme Court's ruling on the definition of true threats is a significant development. This means that it will be more difficult for the government to prove that a series of messages amounted to a true threat, which is not protected by the First Amendment. There was within this particular story, some of the text messages that she received were like, "Is that you in that Jeep?"
Fam, you are watching me. This actually speaks directly to why I worry, because the final boss, and I know, Ambush, you have told me many times I need to find a different comparison. What I'm about to say.
Okay.
And you're not wrong. But when I tell you that the end goal for so many of these people is actual Gilead, but it'll just be named something else, like, MetLife Stadium or something.
Yeah.
That's it. Because what do you mean? I don't know if that's really a threat. What do you mean that stalking and harassing is just sort of a big deal? What do you mean that's free speech? What do you mean that would infringe upon his right? What do you mean? Because hundreds of messages, I literally wouldn't care if the messages just said hi.
Right.
What are you doing? Leave me alone. You don't get to do that to somebody. But you're not doing that. You're not just saying hello. You're not just saying hi. You're not just saying, "Hey, I'd like to meet you." You are saying, "Hey, is that you in that Jeep right there? Is that you in that outfit? You at Walmart right now?"
The sexism baked into that decision is just, it's overwhelming.
Well, and the internalized sexism, because Sotomayor over here like, "Well, I don't know, guys. There might be some speech that then gets misconstrued. And then what if it wasn't meaning to be bad, but it was taken bad, but it wasn't bad, but people will abuse it." Y'all supposed to be smarter than that.
This person, after being told several times, "Hey, you know what? I'm good. Let's not communicate," kept making different accounts. Right. Kept creating different accounts to continue with the engagement. No means no. It's really that simple. Anything past the no is unwanted interaction, and easily, in this particular situation, can be defined as stalking. Easily. Now it's, well, is it free? Are we violating this person's free speech? Is he aware of is this person a child or not? They're not aware of whether what they were doing was...
It's really amazing to me how mental health gets weaponized, but will not get any sort of funding to be preventative. Our client has a mental health issue. So that's what this is. And he didn't know that it wasn't cool to do these things. And no. It's my understanding that if I don't know the speed limit on the street that I'm on, but I'm breaking that speed limit, I'm still going to be held responsible for that, whether I knew the speed or not.
Right.
If I don't know, if on my planet red lights mean go.
My dimension.
And here I am, and I'm telling you, hey, that's what that means to me. You are still going to hold me responsible for running the red lights.
Yeah.
So I am incredibly sensitive to the fact that people are not okay and that we as a society and as a country are performative and we do not care.
No.
Collectively enough to make sure that people are okay. I'm very sensitive to that. And then I don't mean and then. And this is outlandish. Because if this were a different situation, if the stalking, if the harassing was going a different way, if a married man's life was upended, you know,
by his mistress,
who would, is that you over there in that Jeep?
Man, they throw the book at her.
I mean, the book, the new book, the old book, the bench, the gavel.
The press that the book was printed on.
Okay.
All of it. All of it. All of it.
Every single piece of it. This is wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no hundreds of messages and an oopsies. Those two things don't go together. Oh, I didn't know?
Sir, you have decided that her time is your time.
And somebody write that down, because that's exactly what the problem is. Like, that is what the problem is. You went and got yourself a parasocial relationship in your mind? And now your emergency is my emergency?
Nah, man.
It's okay to find out where that person lives. It's okay to watch that person. This what we doing now? Y'all are unserious. These are the same people that are going to tell you that they want to make sure that women's sports are like protected or something. You know what I'm saying? You're on a crusade to stop the trans women from taking over all of the gold medals that don't happen in high school or college. We will not give any of you women health care. We absolutely will not allow you to be in charge of your own bodies. But and we will not let these trans women take your trophies.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nailed it for you, didn't we?
We also want to close that wage gap in between men and women's sports.
What would I do that for? Obviously, you guys are not as good.
Right.
You are not as good, and you do not in any way draw the same kind of audience. So what would we pay you money for? You do it for free. You're lucky we let you wear shorts.
Do it for the love of the game. Don't you love the game?
That story, along with the affirmative action story, is just, turn it all off.
Supreme Court.
Throw it away.
It's courting. It's courting. If anyone was confused about the impact of Trump's term
Whew.
and all of the Supreme Court activities that were taking place state to state. Yeah, man.
You mean just court activities state to state? Because the
yeah, right. Yeah.
amount of judges that he got through is just wowzers.
Yeah.
And you can really, I don't know how interested I'll be to get the lowdown on Donald Trump in a year or two. I don't know how interested I'll be in all of the documentaries that explain and connect every dot of try and make him look like he was actually smart or whatever. I don't care if he was the mastermind. I don't care if he was the puppet. I don't care if he was just the, self-centered, pretend faux rich guy that he is to me. Right. I don't care. What was able to happen in the amount of time from him coming down that escalator, because it's not just him being the president.
Wow.
The culture shifted the moment he was able to say, Mexicans are rapists. They are bringing drugs. They're not sending their best. That's it. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of a complete and total culture shift. Backwards, by the way. Not we've never seen this before. Just back to things we've seen.
Nah, that's pretty major. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the amount of damage that has happened since 2015 is, I mean, it's hard to calculate because then you throw in things like a pandemic where everybody is still trying to do what they always did in a situation that they've never been in. While we're in the middle of I don't know what's real or isn't moment of life, which is super cool. We have all done really well to still be alive right now. And I'm not joking when I say that. Yeah. This has been awful. But to see it continue, to see there's not enough fight. There's not enough people standing up and saying absolutely not to these things. There's not enough people who understand why it's happening. There's not enough people who care. Because even locally, we have no business having a Renee Gonzalez.
Period.
We have no business having to deal with Ted Wheeler. We are supposed to be smarter than all of that. We at least get the reputation for it from other places.
Man, I was just about to say that.
Boy, we real progressive over here,
what
huh?
The marketing says anyways.
The marketing to tell you. Progressive Portland. Who was it who brought in Portlandia? Who allowed that to happen? Because here's another one. You know?
Oh my God.
That's another culture shift that ruined everything. And we can do that another day too. Ambush?
Shout out to Ibrahim.
Shout out to Ibrahim.
Was that you calling for a music break?
That's me calling for a music break and trying to figure out.
We got to do Portland History X when we come back.
All right.
Yeah, because serious BS. That's right. You're listening to My Fiancé with DJ Ambush and Morgan Jones. I figured the first music break, I started with Let's Get MJ Amped. And I think it worked.
And it did.
Second music break, hey, give me what I need. Huh? Crime fighting music first thing in the morning.
Oh, boy. I'm going to tell you this, Ambush. I tried to, and fiancés. You may care. I don't know if you do care. But I've been working on the structure of the show. Mm-hmm. As Ambush alluded to in the beginning, we're just working on some things. We're trying to, tighten up to be able to expand.
Yeah. We've been cooking, guys. We've been cooking up.
And part of the cook up, I was like, 3 music breaks. Mm-hmm. Friends, I outlined the show. Loosely. It's a loose outline. If you've run an event before, you understand a run of show. You want to follow those times as closely as you can. But you understand life happens. And so you got a little wiggle room in there. Well, there is no wiggle to this room when you spend 20 minutes talking about something you didn't plan to. So I'm apologize. You will not get a third music break.
You'll get that music at the end of the show.
Yeah. Because I'm going to give you the story real quick.
Bruh. And I'm assuming it feels like everyone in Portland should know about this is happening right now. It's amazing. Right? Everyone should know.
I feel like they should, and I also feel like I know why they would not. And part of that has to do with I haven't seen this locally covered.
Ahem, ahem.
Mm-hmm. So I want you to, if you have seen the movie American History X, I just want you to think about Derek Vinyard, who is Edward Norton, when thinking about why did that guy go to prison? A black business owner was attacked by a white man in Southeast Portland on June 15th. The victim, Daryl Preston, suffered severe injuries in the assault, including a broken nose, facial fractures, lacerations, and a concussion. Preston says that the attacker yelled racial slurs at him during the attack. The Portland Police Bureau responded to the scene of the attack, but the suspect had already fled. He was taken to the hospital. Preston was taken to the hospital for treatment by his wife with his face wrapped in a T-shirt. And his family has hired an attorney. The family hired attorney Alicia Leduc Montgomery to investigate the attack and the PPB's response to it. She said she believes the attack was motivated by race and has voiced concerns about the PPB's response to the incident. alleging that the department did not take the victim's report seriously and they did not launch a full investigation immediately. The PPB has defended its handling of the case, saying officers talked with Mr. Preston and claimed he was uncooperative with the investigation immediately following the attack. PPB said that they take all reports of hate crimes seriously and that they are committed to investigating them thoroughly. Preston's family is not satisfied with the PPB's response. They're calling for an independent investigation into the attack. So let me just give you one piece of background here, which is I came across this story because of Ben Crump on Twitter, attorney Ben Crump, who the name may sound familiar because he is often a lawyer representing families of people unjustly killed by the police. Did I say unjustly? I didn't even mean to use that word. Often he is representing people who have experienced major violence and possibly death from the hands of the police. And so you can imagine the amount of racist folks that spend their time calling him the race baiter. So he posts a video. A video was taken, and I would love to talk to the person who took this video. And I don't mean that in any sort of snarky way. I mean, I want deeds.
Right.
The video that you can see is what looks like from across the street. This is on like 52nd and Foster. This is busy. You don't see a lot of people like walking around, but there's lots of cars. So this person, it looks like they're filming from across the street. And what you see is someone pummeling another person. And it's just seconds of that portion of it. The video that I saw is, brutal. And only stops because a car slows down. There's a car honking. It might be the same. But a car slows down. You can hear someone yell, stop, or I think it's stop. And it's because the car slows down and then stops right past where they are. That dude just stops, right? He just stands up and walks away. And when I say stand up, I mean straightens up because he's just bent over. Daryl Preston is on the ground. I mean, what's reported is that he was on the phone with his wife. He's at his business, behind the cart, taking a quick call, and gets not just blindsided, but also accosted verbally, so you're screaming the N-word and all sorts of slurs, and then also just start wailing on him before there's any sort of ability to understand what's going on. And the amount of people in those comments saying, show me the whole video because I guarantee he did something to deserve that. Okay, I'm going to come back to that because I want to sit with the fact that this person walks away looking exactly like a neo-Nazi from the 90s. If you are from Portland and you have been here, or if you lived in Portland in the 90s, do you remember? Do you remember those neo-Nazis that would just be here? They'd just be walking around patrolling. Do you remember Pioneer Square? Skinheads, all black outfits, black combat boots, white laces. Do you remember that? This dude is wearing a Carhartt jacket and shorts like you could not give that body language, that movement, any other description then, oh yeah, that's definitely that's a skinhead, right? Wait a minute. And the reason why not the reason why, there's a lot of reasons why I'm very upset about this entire situation, right? we can't find this man.
Angela, you can't get nobody on the case? All these Portland followers you have?
All of the people that are literally doing the, well, I don't even know what to call that, crisis content.
Ooh, yeah.
Is that what we should call that?
We should call it crisis content.
All the people that are like, but the violence, but the blah, blah, blah. Tell me who your cousin is. Where are the police? I know y'all know how I feel. This is absolutely, in any moment when you are dealing with white supremacists and the police, Hannah Montana. It's the same. So it does not shock me that they did not immediately call this a hate crime. It doesn't shock me that they didn't take this seriously. It doesn't shock me that the police blamed the victim for not being cooperative, but they did not do anything to get him help.
Right.
The firefighters told the police that he left was gone. There's no victim. There's no perpetrator. Which hits a little different now, knowing how certain firefighters feel about certain things. Hits a little different. This black man's face it makes him unrecognizable. Beaten brutally. And we're days into a video being out of this person. And I don't know what I expect. I don't know what I'm expecting out of people in Portland to see anyone, honestly, being severely beaten, but specifically seeing a black man severely beaten by a white man. I don't know what I'm expecting, but the fact that what you can see in the video is another white man run over, look, and turn around and walk away.
For
the job.
I'm sorry.
No. For
anyone that, is confused about the state of the city that they live in and doesn't understand why, I had this wonderful experience here in Portland, and I just don't get what people are complaining about, and why are they saying all these bad things, and what are they complaining about? Portland is amazing. It's so progressive. It's okay. I've never seen video footage this clear. This isn't like this is a tall, large man, bald head, daytime video footage, face clear as day. No one has identified him yet. That's all. Oh,
somebody went to school with him.
Right. That's all you need to know.
Yes.
That's all you need to know, because there are people who know who he is. And there are people that are adjacent to people that know who he is. There is a large enough group of people that know who he is, and the fact that he has not been identified is all that you need to know about Portland. 1, 2, the police saying that they didn't have enough information at the time to consider it a biased crime, and that they couldn't get a statement. And here's the self-report, guys. Here's the self-report. This man's face and head was beaten so brutally. The images,
they're real hard to look at.
Right? And the police are saying that he did not want to cooperate, so we left. Okay.
No, so what do you want me to do?
Right. Okay. So this is someone that you've seen that has taken so much bodily harm that it's imperative that he gets to a hospital. And because that person, this victim, did not want to cooperate in the way that you needed them to, your resolve was then to leave them. I guarantee you that what they wanted to do in that moment was have the calm, I just got a couple of questions, and you wanted to quiz him while he was in a place of agony. And because he didn't want to show up to the pop quiz and answer your questions over and over again, most likely the same questions coming from multiple officers over and over
at
again.
the same time.
Because this is how you guys conduct yourselves. He then went into his food truck and locked himself in. Like, that's a result of the interaction with you.
Fam.
That's a direct result of the interaction with you. You were here to assist. You were here to perform a duty, and you did it so poorly. He opted to lock his injured self back inside of his truck and wait for a family member to arrive. And you thought it was wise to then say, well, we tried, so, he didn't want to talk to us, so we left.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? I want you to think about just the shock that happens when, you run into something that is always there. Are you a little bit shocked? What about when you get in a car accident? You don't understand what happened. You're discombobulated. There's all sorts of, even if you're not in the moment injured,
right?
Your thinking is off. You don't know that it is necessarily. But then I want you to think about what would happen if you were severely beaten out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere while you were at work. And what if your experience with the police is you are always the one in the wrong to them? What if your experience is you don't get treated like a victim of a crime that happened in broad daylight? What if your experience with the police is even as a person whose face is split open, they're saying, what'd you do? Because we know what it does for people trying to report an assault or a rape. What were you wearing? How much did you have to drink? There's a lot of those questions that you're just going to opt out of. Never mind. I'm just not even going to deal with that thing. Now, imagine put on top of that you have been beaten so bad that both of your eyes are swollen shut. They are bleeding.
Right.
Your mouth is completely someone else's mouth now. Cheeks swollen. I mean, you have no idea what's happening with the level of pain with that person because you have not offered that person any medical help.
You haven't prioritized it.
You haven't prioritized making sure that person is okay.
Right.
You haven't prioritized making sure that person gets to see a medical professional immediately.
You haven't prioritized.
That's not a head injury?
Right. You haven't prioritized making sure that person survives.
Ooh, okay, bye. That's it.
What's most important is protocol. Well, when we arrive on the scene, we need to get some answers. The person is having a problem breathing.
A problem living. And now here we are throwing this person's picture and videos on the internet saying, please, somebody help, because you know who won't? The PPB. You know what they will do? Protect their cousin.
Yep. Because I'm telling you right now, Morgan said it first when this popped up in the house. I'm rolling the dice on this one. I'm betting all on black. There is no way this dude is not related to or involved in law enforcement.
Law enforcement of some sort. Of some sort.
Because they know who he is.
Oh, absolutely. He also looks like he could, prison yard, fam. Like the way he walks, the way he walked away from doing that.
Rudo said we have straight Bigfoot video of this bonehead.
Fam.
It happened here.
I mean, when we talk about what's happening in this world and the changes and the violent crime and the this and that, these are not the ones that get talked about. Why are we not talking about?
Right. Right.
Where is the footage from KGW? Because they real quick to tell me that a woman can't sell her house because there's a homeless tent or encampment near it, which has always been there, to be clear. But y'all quick to tell me about that and how woe it is for her that she can't make a bunch of money on something, a community she ain't put nothing into. But you can't tell me about the white man on the loose who's out here doing this? I didn't hear anything about the guy from May who was at the Acropolis.
Right.
Doing the hate crimes. I didn't hear any of that. I'm not saying it's not covered. I'm saying it is not covered in the same way. And I have not seen any coverage of this in particular. And I'm sorry, I have now talked too much. Ambush, you can close the show.
John said, I truly don't understand where we are as a society. Where the F is of humanity. P.S. I've been interrogated by the cops while in trauma, and I'll tell you, it's an interrogation. Even if you're the victim, even if you're a white man, promise PPB knows this man. Yeah, they're robots, bro. They're robots. Someone is bleeding in front of you, and it's like, can you describe the attacker? Their eyes are swollen shut.
I mean, even honestly, in the propaganda of it all, because we have watched, how many times you've seen Olivia Benson go to the bedside of a rape victim and go, I know you're real tired, but
Yeah. The incompetence on full display here is the PPB. Okay, I'm going to close it up.
Yeah,
thank
you got to close it.
Yeah,
Tom's talking.
Yeah, Tom's talking. Thank you guys so much, man. Yeah, this is a pleasure every single week.
Every single week.
Love spending time with you guys. This is Dudes My Fiancé. Brought to you by Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. Podcast editor Kyle G. Thank you guys for jumping in the mix and engaging with us. And as always, don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a powerful choice. People over profits. Power to the people. And none of us are free until we are all free. Thank you so much for listening.
Bye.